Hello! So we're going to try this and see if it works. I'm going to be reading you guys a story every day, and this is going to be our first one so that we can keep story time alive. And as the days go on, we'll add a few more things. Tomorrow I hope to add calendar time and community circle so that we can have some fun as a kindergarten class, even if it's over the internet. So today's book is Caps for Sale, and the author is Esther Slobotkina, and the story is told and illustrated by this person, and it says, A Tale of a Peddler, Some Monkeys and Their Monkey Business. All right, so what are some noticings that you see just from the cover? What do you notice? I want to ask a lot of questions, so maybe you can turn to mom or dad and talk about what you notice. Or maybe if you have a sibling that gets to listen with you, you can talk about what you notice. Caps for sale. Wow, look at that illustration. That's different. I noticed something that's usually a specific color, and I'm noticing here that it's different. I'm wondering if you're noticing the same thing. Let's see. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Do you see all of those? That is a lot of caps. I wonder if you could count them. Maybe you can count them. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps! Caps for sale!" Okay, are we ready for this? 50 cents a cap. I'm wondering, how old is this book? Because I know that if I go to the store right now, I'm not going to be able to find a cap for 50 cents. Let's look at where he is. All right. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. I wonder where everybody is. Why didn't anybody want their caps that day? He walked for a very long time until he came to a big green tree. That's a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put on his hand to feel if they were straight. First, he checked his own cap. Then he checked the gray caps. Then he checked the blue caps, the red caps, and the very top. Why do you think he was checking his caps? Why do you think he was checking his caps? He is in the countryside, right? What clues do we have that he's in the countryside? Where is he sleeping again? Let's see what happens. His caps were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. I wonder, do you guys notice anything? What do you notice about him right away? What do you notice in this illustration? I wonder what the peddler is going to say. Before standing up, the peddler felt on his head to make sure that his caps were there. All he felt was his own cap. Uh-oh. What do you think happened? If you have a friend that is watching with you, whether it be sister, brother, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, turn and talk with them and ask, what do you think happened? Talk about that for a minute. I wonder. Since I don't have a friend here, I'm going to whisper what I think happened in my hand and I'm going to put it in my pocket. I think what happened is that. Okay, we're going to see if my prediction was right. I wonder if yours is right too. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. No caps. Where did they go? Then he looked up in the tree. What do you think he saw? On every branch. Just a minute. I forgot to show you the illustration. He looked up in the tree. And I'll tell you what, my prediction was off. On every branch sat a monkey. And on every monkey's head, there was a gray, a brown, or a blue, or a red cap. Did any of you predict that monkeys had the caps? I didn't. The peddler looked at the monkeys and the monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. What do you think he's going to say? I wonder what he's going to say to those monkeys. And do you think the monkeys are going to understand him? Let's see. You monkeys, you, said he, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, do you think the monkeys can actually talk? Do you think the monkeys can actually understand him? So, I wonder. I want to show you the expressions on their faces. Can you see that? Do those monkeys look like they're upset? Or do they look like they're having a fun time taking his caps? This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, I wonder what's going to happen next. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, why do you think the monkeys stamped their feet back at him? Why do you think they would do that? And have you noticed what else they've done? There's been some other pages with some other behaviors. Think about what he's done and then compare them with what the monkeys have done. So, do you notice a pattern? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet, shouting, you monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, there they are. I wonder if the peddler is noticing that pattern as well. And is that going to change his behavior? Because is it working? At last, the peddler peddler became so angry that he pulled off his own cap. Wait a minute. If the peddler pulled off his cap, and we know that the monkeys are following the pattern of whatever the peddler did, what do you predict all of the monkeys are going to do now? Turn and talk to your friend or neighbor and see if they say the same thing. And since I don't have a friend or neighbor, I'm going to whisper what I think he's going to have them do. Okay, we're going to see. But then each monkey pulled off their cap, just like the peddler did. Did your prediction come true? Mine did. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down the tree and landed onto the ground. It worked. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First came his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. See, he sorted them. Hey, he's making patterns, isn't he? We know about making patterns. And slowly, he walked back to town, calling, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. The end. That was a very interesting story. So I want to ask you, what did you notice about this book? If we talk about the word pattern, did you find any patterns in that book? That's what I want you to think about, is what patterns did you find in that book? Now, I want you to get a piece of paper if you have one, and I want you to write about some patterns that you notice, and I want you to try and put them in sequence. Sequence is when we put something in order. So first, what happened? What pattern happened? We know that he had hats on his head. Do you remember the order? And then what happened when he fell asleep under the tree? And when he woke up, there were monkeys, right? Well, what pattern did he start then? He would make a reaction, and then the monkeys would make that the reaction. Do you remember what the first reaction was? Do you? I think he was waving his hand, right? And then it became two hands. And then it was stomping one foot. And then it was stomping another foot. I want you to think about those patterns. Choose 3. Write about each of them. And then you can create a sequence by putting them in order and retelling the story to someone who's living in your house with you. I hope you enjoyed your story today with me, and we will talk tomorrow.